Hello. In the next 10 minutes, I would like to show you how to start up the SR22 and prepare it for takeoff. Just like in any aircraft, before you take flight, you need to make sure that the weight and balance is within limits. So go to Customize, Weight, Balance and Fuel. And here you can see the setup of the weight and the balance. If you restore defaults, you see that the defaults are a full load at maximum takeoff weight. So whatever you have set there, you can adjust the fuel, the weight, and you will see that the center of gravity on the very top moves along as you change the weight at certain stations of this aircraft. Once you're happy, you click Apply Changes and you are back in the cockpit. Now, before we start the engine, we need to make sure the parking brake is set naturally. We need to get some electricity going, turn on battery 1 and 2. And you can hear the fan starts running. Someone forgot to turn it off when leaving the airplane, so we turn that off to not load the battery too much because we don't have any electrical supply going really. We turn on the strobe lights. There's no beacon on the SR22 to warn people that we are about to start the engine. You switch the fuel selector to any of the two tanks and put the mixture to full forward to enable fuel flowing to the engine. You also want to open the throttle all the way for priming. Do that really short. That's enough. And then turn on the boost pump to supply positive fuel to the engine at all times. Close the throttle again and then open it a little bit to facilitate starting the engine. Make sure that the prop area is clear. Look around, yell prop clear, and then we are ready to start. Turn the ignition switch to start. To do it, monitor RPM and oil pressure while you do it. You can see oil pressure is right there, and you reduce the RPM to 1000. This is a good value for ground operation in the SR22. Once you've done that, it's time to check the battery. It's discharging, of course, and now we turn on the alternators 1 and 2, and you can see positive charge going into the battery. Turn on the avionics. This powers the second monitor and also the standby instruments below the left monitor. I like to use this engine display. It makes it easier to check engine parameters during the subsequent testing and run-ups and so on. Now we can prepare some systems like setting up the communication frequencies, and also I like to set up the first altitude that I want to climb to here on the autopilot control panel. You can see that little blue number there on the primary flight display. I set that to 3000 and also set the heading bug to the takeoff runway heading. This provides some guidance as you fly the plane during the initial climb. Now we can turn on the fan again, set the temperature any way we like, and we don't need any air conditioning on this nice balmy day. Switch the fuel selector to the other tank just to make sure that this works. Now would be a good time to find out if it doesn't, not after you took off flying. We're ready to taxi and release the parking brake. Generally, do not use more than 1000 RPM, but to break free, it's fine to go up a little higher than that. You can see the wind is blowing from the left, from the south, so the plane wants to weather vane into the wind. And since the SR22 does not have a steerable nose gear, it's free castering, just like a shopping cart, you need to use differential braking, little taps of the left and right brake to swing the nose whichever way you want. And especially in the crosswind, you'll find that that's sometimes getting a little, well, not very smooth, especially when the plane is very slow and Once you get going a little faster, this is fine. You can also use the rudder pedals without the brakes, and the slipstream of the propeller will provide some steering, normally or usually enough, especially in straight lines, without too much crosswind to keep you on the center line. But if you make more distinct turns, like this 90-degree turn here to the left, you will need little taps on the left and right brake to swing the nose into the way you want it. Now, before we take off, we need to check certain systems, and there's usually a so-called run-up area near the end of the runways on smaller airports. If there isn't, you can just use the taxiway, maybe angle the plane a little bit so you don't blast people with prop wash behind you. But there's a little run-up area here on the left side, so I will swing over there and then park the plane for the subsequent tests. That should do. And then, of course, make sure that the parking brake is set again so that you can safely increase power of the aircraft. The first step now is to check the doors and windows, make sure they are closed and latched. You would also check the CAPS handle of the emergency parachute and the seat belts in the real aircraft. You set up the air conditioning as needed and make sure that the fuel quantity is sufficient for the flight that you have planned. And the next thing would be to set your flaps to 50%, and that's the setting that you want for takeoff. Make sure that the flaps have extended. Also check the little green light showing that they have reached the desired position. You can check the autopilot now, turn it on. You will see that it moves the controls slightly in an attempt to fly the airplane at this point. That's good. So we turn it off again, and you see the flight director is still on. Turn that off as well. Next thing would be setting up your transponder. Different rules at different airports on how to operate it. And here on the ground, I will just click transponder, and I will just use the on setting at this point. You could also go to Alt for altitude reporting. I will do that before I take off. And you can see the numbers turn green and it's on, and that means it's working. And you can see the little R there. That means it's responding to interrogation by secondary radar. And now it's time to check the alternator. You want to rev up to 1700 RPM, pretty much exactly. It's important to be precise when you check the ignition in a second. But for now, we check that the alternator is charging the battery. We turn on some electrical suppliers, pitot heat, landing light, nav lights. See, it's still charging, +1, +2. That's good. So you turn off the pitot heat, landing light, and nav lights again. And the next thing would be checking the magnetos, and you switch the view or turn the view until you can see both the RPM and the ignition switch. You turn it to left, observe the drop, back to both, and to right, observe the drop. Should not be more than 150 RPM, which it clearly isn't, so we're good. And once that is concluded, you can reduce RPM to idle again. Engine parameters were checked. The temperature is above 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius. Check the flight controls for free travel, also the rudder. And then there's only one more step to do before we're ready for takeoff, and that is checking the trim. The trim indication here is actually on the control rod there. You can see the little TO, and you move the trim until TO is lining up with that little metal guard there, and then you are good for takeoff.